Hello, I'm Jennifer Sellers with Military OneSource. Very honored to be here with you today. Thank you for having me. How many of y'all, just quick raise of hands, how many of y'all have heard of Military OneSource? Now, come on. I know there are more hands out there than that. One more time, raise of hands. How many of you have heard of us? How many have used us? Okay, that's a little bit better. Well, you know that we are available to you online, by phone, 24/7, 365. You call us on New Year's, we're going to pick up the phone and say, Happy New Year, how can we help you? Now, our website's recently changed a little bit, so I take this time to tell you, go and look at it. It's much easier to use. If you just have the mouse hover over, or the little icon hover over the different links, you'll have a list drop down. It'll show you all the links. Much easier to navigate. Now, eligibility is for the service member and the immediate family. So that generally means the spouse and children. Now, if you're the parents, you need to call and find out a little bit more as to how you may use the benefit. And that is for active duty, Guard, Reserve, and IRR. Now, I will tell you I have a table out there with a bunch of information. If you have some specific questions, please come out there and see me and talk to me individually, and I can help you navigate the website or direct you to information on my table and help whatever situation may come up. I like to call Military OneSource the stopgap. You know, the stopgap between the military and regular life. Where the two come together, we try and fill that gap. So, I would also like to point out our counseling. How many of y'all heard that Military OneSource has counseling? Raise your hands. You've heard about the counseling? Okay, how many of y'all knew it was free? Okay. We have free counseling for every aspect of life, and that goes for dealing with children, dealing with deployments, dealing with marriages, dealing with family, anything and everything you can think of, pretty much. Our counseling covers. Now, it's non-medical counseling, so that means you can't come to us and ask to see a doctor about a broken foot. This is emotional type counseling. You get 12 sessions per issue, per family member, per rolling calendar year. 12 sessions. So, say you want, I know, it's always, the one that always comes to mind is marriage counseling. Say you want to go to marriage counseling and you go through the steps, you get qualified, and they give you 12 sessions, and you use those 12 sessions in 6 months because you go twice a month. And well, you've got, you know, it's only 6 months. You might want to go a little bit more than that. So, talk to your counselor and discuss what the specific issues are. Maybe it's communications. And then you can go back to Military OneSource and say, well, now we want to try some communications counseling. And you could get another 12 sessions for this separate issue. And you can work it out a little bit that way as to figuring out what specific issues do you need assistance with. And again, this is free. We find counselors in your area, so you're not going to have to travel to another city. They're going to be counselors in your city, working with you, working with your time schedule. And remember, the first counselor you meet may not work. Y'all might just have different philosophies. You might be a very down-to-earth person, and your counselor's more by the book, and maybe vice versa. So if the first time you go to counseling and you and your counselor don't quite bond, for lack of a better term, call Military OneSource and just say, I want to try another one. And we'll find a different counselor in your area and try and help you with that situation. So, again, 12 sessions per issue per 12-month period. I do have a few little things to tell you. With Military OneSource, We do have the duty to warn, but basically that is if you're actually acknowledging that you're going to do some kind of illegal activity that will impair your ability to work, we will have to inform someone of that. But other than that, we're not going to tell anybody. If you go to counseling, we're not going to call your spouse and tell them. If you call Military One Source, we're not going to tell your spouse. There's no information that's given anywhere. We're not going to contact your supervisors. There's just no paper trail here. So don't worry about it. The only thing is that duty to warn. And like I said, that's for illegal activity. That's not for parking tickets. That's not for anything. It's the bottom line duty to warn. If you're going to harm yourself or somebody else, of course we're going to step in because we don't want anybody to get hurt. So, again, 24/7, 365 days a year, online, by phone. Please come and see me at my table and talk to me a little bit more about specific situations in your life, anything and everything from planning a vacation on a military budget to going to college to spousal employment to PCS moves to anything you can think of. We can probably help you figure out how to do it on a budget, how to get through it, how to deal with the stress of it. And, you know, you're talking to people who have a military background of some sort. Personally, I was a military wife for 18 years, so I've lived the active duty life, I've lived the guard life, I've traveled the world, and I understand both active guard and every type of stressor there is. So if you have any questions, come and see me, and I'll do my best to guide you in the right direction. So please give us a call. Thank you for having me here today.